Hello. Hi, Kaya. Hi, everybody. Great. Hi. How are you doing? Kimberly. Angel. Abby. Hi, everybody. Donna. Ooh, it's going so fast. Sharon. Good evening. Oh, thank you very much. Man, I love the blue ones I was wearing the other night or the green ones, but had to change. Had to get a little bit of pink in there. Needed to pick me up. Thank you, Willie B. Yeah, need a little bit. Hey there, hi there, ho there. Oh, thanks, John. Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. Who's the ho there? Hi, John. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Oh, my goodness. So glad to be back here over on the tube. Yeah, we got some danger. Did you make some calls today? I have things set up. I'm actually going to start making the calls tomorrow, and I've had several requests from people to actually film it. So I'm kind of putting together a way to film it so you can hear me. I mean, being angry, I guess. Are we getting in the bunker? Not yet, not yet. But I've started to inventory. I started taking of it. Oh, tuning to see your nails. Oh, thanks, Angel. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have so much fun with my nails. I really do. Yes, want you to film it. Yeah. So I gotta be careful how I do it because there's like wire fraud stuff. So to I have to double check exactly what the parameters are of the law. But I am planning to start that, at least to go through and make a list and some things that other people can use. So, good evening. Hello, a girl in her brushes. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Why wouldn't they let you in here? I don't know. You should be. Come on. Great pen. Thank you, Mike. As we know, we've had some troubles recently with our LGBTQIA plus community, and I am a huge supporter, so an ally. So I've got to get my rainbows out to make up for the rainbows that are being taken down, for sure. So, and then you can just ignore all the. Well, true. Good point, John. Good point. Hello, hi, Kat. Hi. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, hello, everyone. Oh, my goodness. We've got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. Well, maybe fun's not the right word. Interesting. Maybe that's a better word. And a couple of things here. So, I was, uh, you know, running around looking through my tube of you. Hold on, everybody. I've got to pull up this amazing YouTube creator whose name escapes me. And I'm just. Okay, Tabitha Speaks Politics. Have y'all heard of her? Let me just put this name out here. So, I had been watching several of her posts. My goodness, this woman is so incredibly intelligent and is just amazing. So, let me write her name down here before I forget. And she just has a really great way of kind of going through what's going on and her thoughts about it. So speaks and then politics here. So I catch her here on the tube. Again, I am moving away from the talk. But I just have to say, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Well, first of all, she's gorgeous, and that's always wonderful. But second of all, wow, she's smart. So I've been checking out some of her posts lately, and I've really been enjoying them. So I just wanted to give her a shout out because I was listening to one of her posts, and she was talking about this proclamation that Mr. Trump had put out regarding a National Black History Month. So I kind of pulled some of that out so we could take a look real quick on that because that's ridiculous what's happening here because we had a memo and we had this reverse on the Black History Month, so it was bonkers. So I thought we could take a look. She is great. Oh yeah. Oh, she's fantastic. Oh my gosh, everybody. Where have I been? I've been not seeing her yet. Nice to meet you too, Nick. Hello. Studying law in Albania. Do you have any tips for me? Just stay on top of your readings, right? So a lot of times we procrastinate on our readings, and I would say don't do that. plan it out, go through, set a timer to see how long it takes you to read through a certain number of pages, and then budget that time so you can make sure to get your reading done. So that's my best that I could do. That's true for any country when you're studying law. So good evening, hello everybody. So I'll try to remember to have like yes, well, and I just tell you, I must have missed her before. I was in a different area looking around. So, but she's just great. Everybody, just subscribe. Yeah, she's great. And you know, if you don't want to hear about politics or whatever, you know, that's no problem. But if you are looking for some really great perspectives, go on over and check it out. So. I am the law. Yeah, I wish I was the law, but alas, I'm not. But yeah, she's fantastic. So need to get used to these new emojis. Yes, and everybody too. I know the one I think the biggest difference between the YouTube and the TikTok is the chat. You know, it really works a little bit differently. And in the chat on TikTok, you can really kind of bounce around in your subjects and things, but it's just a little bit different over here, but I think it's still okay. Found a point shoot channel on here. Oh my gosh, I've got like 2 or 3. I can't make it through the night. Oh my gosh, I just can't even make it through without watching one. So, hello, Brim. Good to see you. I thought then I had a couple of questions I wanted to go through tonight. I also wanted to continue to go through my legislation pieces here. I was up on TikTok and I did do a live on Friday, just kind of, you know, swinging by there. I've kind of flipped things where before I was just occasionally coming on to YouTube, but now that's kind of how I feel about TikTok. I'm making my posts there, but making sure to post them here on YouTube as well. But when I'm doing my live streams, I am again primarily over here on YouTube. So if you feel like you've missed anything, no worries. I'm spending most of my time over here and I'm trying to kind of get my lives moved over. So can't pin comments here. Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, the ASMR element of it is amazing. Also, it's for me, it's like you take this brand new, pristine, gorgeous ballet shoe and you just beat the crap out of it. I don't know. For some reason, that's very satisfying to me. That's extremely satisfying. So, one thing, though, that I do want to continue on is more of the legislation that's coming through, being proposed. That is what the live was about over on TikTok on Friday, was just going through some of the bills. And I also wanted to take a minute here to kind of talk about this Black History Month you know, garbaggio that just went down, because this is really ridiculous, this whole situation that occurred. And so I think that's important. I also had a couple of topics to talk about too tonight, everybody, and I was like, oh, I gotta ask the chat about that. And so we'll kind of get into that too a little bit. So who has heard, who has, oh my gosh, only way would be up. But yeah, it feels like it's bottomless. Sometimes it really does. But you know, I mean, that's what we do over here. We just keep going, keep putting one foot in front of the other. So one of the things, let's just kind of start the night off. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how we can go forward to pin stuff. If anybody knows, let me know, all right? So this was a memo, everyone, that got sent out. This was a inside memo. Somebody leaked, I guess, if we want to be like, what? Graded with red. Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it, Willie B. So this came out January 28th, I guess. And here is what it's called. Again, this is a photograph because it was kind of snuck out here. Hello, Bruce Wayne's mother. Hello. Thank you so much. Hello, Keelys. Good to see you. So we've got the subject is a pause on special emphasis programs and related activities and events. And this was sent out by the Defense Intelligence Agency. Number one, the agency is working internally with the department to implement the executive orders ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing, which is this order here, and initial rescissions of harmful executive orders and actions. And that was dated January 20th. We are receiving questions across the workforce on the way forward with special emphasis programs, special observations, or yeah, observances. Oh my gosh, more tang, everyone. Agency resource groups, affinity groups, and employee networking groups. So DIA will, again, Defense Intelligence Agency, will pause all activities and events related to agency special emphasis programs effective immediately and until further notice. Additionally, special observances hosted throughout the year by the command element directorates and special offices are also paused. These include observances related to the following. So this is the memo, right, that stopped everything. We've got Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, Black History Month, Women's History Month, Holocaust Day, Days of Remembrance, Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, Pride Month, of course, Juneteenth here, Women's Equality Day, National Hispanic Heritage Month, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, National American Indian Heritage Month. The pause will not affect any federal holidays. All right. So this was the memo that was sent out, and we all heard about that, right? So these special observation months were taken off the chart, right? So I think there was a bit of a fallout after that, and we were all like, this is awful. I've started a new series myself in February where I'm posting some significant, amazing African American, literally African American people in the US, some of our American heroes over here, just to celebrate that. So that's been going on here, but sorry, I needed some tank. But then we have this a proclamation that came out on the 31st. So this was the 28th. So just a couple days later, and this hasn't even been, in my opinion, I don't think this has even made the media yet. And we've got a White House proclamation from President Donald J. Trump on National Black History Month. So let me go through this. By the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. Today, I'm very honored to recognize February of 2025 as National Black History Month. Like, didn't we just get rid of it? I mean, what? Every year, National Black History Month is an occasion to celebrate the contributions of so many Black American patriots who have indelibly shaped our nation's history. Throughout our history, Black Americans have been among our country's most consequential leaders, shaping the cultural and political destiny of our nation in profound ways. Not written by Mr. Trump. American heroes such as Frederick Douglass, that he thought was still alive, Harriet Tubman, which was not put on the $20 bill, Thomas Sowell, Justice Clarence Thomas, not a hero, and countless others represent what is best in America and her citizens. Their achievements, which have monumentally advanced the tradition of equality under the law, which we are now removing, in our great country, continue to serve as an inspiration for all Americans. We will also never forget the achievements of American greats like Tiger Woods, who had a sex addiction and cheated on his wife, who have pushed the boundaries of excellence in their respective fields, paving the way for others to follow. This National Black History Month, as America prepares to enter a historic golden age, that's just not true. I want to extend my tremendous gratitude to Black Americans for all they have done to bring us to this moment, unless they're from Somalia or Haiti, right? And for the many future contributions that we'll make as we advance into a future of limitless possibility under my administration. And that's also a big bologna sandwich. So, so that happened. I mean, that's crazy, right? Isn't that? I'm tired, boss. I know, man. I know. We're getting there, though. We're going to get our next win. You have to understand, we're going to get burnt out, and then we're going to pick ourselves back up and run again. Yeah, Tiger Woods. I know, right? I mean, because yeah. So I think, to me, I really wanted to bring this out to remind everybody that these people have no idea what they're doing. They really don't. And so he's like, we're getting rid of everything. And then now he's like, we're doing everything again because I'm the greatest ever. Like, what are you doing? It's so confusing and frustrating. I agree, Cynthia. So one of the things that I think is really important right now is that, we need to play our individual cards, right? So we love that individuality of being an American. We also, being in our states, we love the individuality of our states and our history. And at this time, I think we just really need to play that card and say, I don't really care what the government does right now. I uh, I want to celebrate Black History Month. I want to celebrate Women's History Month. So these are kind of, in my mind, like the training wheels. Like, recognize that these people in these groups have done amazing things in this country. Great. But at this point, we can't really trust the federal government. So we have to celebrate them ourselves. So I think that's important, and I think that's okay to do that. But we're not getting rid of anything. It's the federal government making these decisions, and so we don't have to do that. So just a friendly reminder on that, which again reminds me quite a bit on the federal funds freeze that somebody thought was a good idea, that now has 2 injunctions on it out of court. So, printing himself some Clarence Thomas. That's interesting. So, yeah, the other thing too, I thought we could do before I dive into legislation. It's been kind of a rough day today, everyone. And I thought, let's talk about, I'm sorry, I'm trying to grab a sheet of paper out here. Let's talk about the Elon Musk situation here. Let's just get it all out. Let's get it all out so we can look at it and then clean it up. All right. So what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? First, we got the doggy cone. Oh, I'm sorry, the doggy group. What is it? Is it a? What exactly is this? I've been following it all weekend. All right, all right. Is he living in the White House? Okay, don't get me started. Okay, so the doggy committee, right? Is it a committee? It's a coup. All hell's breaking loose. Okay. Right. I got it. It's a coup. I thought it was like a federal. Isn't it a federal group? So yeah, what exactly is it? He needs to laugh at me. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, it's moved across the street. Eisenhower Building. Okay. So he's trying to get close. Never in the Eisenhower. Nothing but the best. Department of Global Energy, not federal. All right. DOGE has offices in Eisenhower Building. Okay. Great. So we've got Eisenhower. Scary, awful. He's got no right to our personal information. True story. I believe that. Okay. Department of Government Efficiency. Okay. Thank you. Department of Government Efficiency. All right. So, and that's his doggy committee. Is it a committee or is it a? All right. We're just gonna call it a. I'm trying to figure out how it's been categorized. Government payment system hasn't even been approved for. Right. The fake job is a committee. Okay. All right, everybody. Listen, some of these details go over my head because I got other stuff going on in my head. An advisory committee only. All right, and that's allowable. Committee only. Here, it's not actually an official committee. All right, it's not been proven yet. It's not been okay. DOGE. I know, but isn't doggy cuter, or is that not cuter? I always think of that meme with that dog when I see it. So, all right, unconstitutional. All right. Okay. Has no authority whatsoever other than they decided to create it. So that's a really good point, right? We've got to look and see where power comes from. And the power that Mr. Musk is relying on is basically, he bought a president. So he's got the executive, here's the executive branch, who has basically said, an advisory role. So this to me, and let me know everybody if I'm close, this to me smacks of Steve Bannon. Are we kind of in the same realm as Steve Bannon was? Made a special government employee. Right, Charles. So, I mean, that was what Stephen Bannon did, right? Elon's getting access to all of the super private data. Well, right. DOGE is the head honcho. Pronunciation's more accurate. Just due to happy. That's funny. Don't drag dogs down. Oh, fair. That's so fair. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. All right. So Bannon and Musk don't like each other, but it is similar. Worse than Bannon. I would agree. And at least with Bannon, we know he's got a trial coming up. So, whatever. All right. Okay. So he's got this advisory committees, and presidents can have that. Now we've got this issue. We've got several issues, but one of the issues is what's happening with the Treasury Department, right? So what exactly is going on here? He went in and tried to get information on steroids with unlimited money. Yikes! We can call it Dookie. Oh my gosh! I don't know, everybody. Gossip Mojo. Oh my goodness gracious! Doesn't have adequate funds. Oh my gosh, Cynthia, and I tell you what, that's really making a difference, isn't it? All right, so hostile takeover, right. So the Department of Treasury, right, and who, that's one of the questions. Department of Treasury. Let's just see here. Position. So the Department of Treasury is a cabinet position that already had someone in place, right? So you've got the Secretary of the Treasury here, collects taxes, managing federal finances, overseeing national banks, and so on, right? Federal Advisory Committee by executive order. They plugged into their system with external hard drive. Ew, that's not good. He took a hard drive, downloaded it. Okay. It's empty now. All right. So the position is empty. So this is one of the cabinet positions, right? They're now using their own. Yikes. What creator goes? Right. I guess so we can see all the comments. Oh, I know. We love it. All right. So if we're in a cabinet position here, you have to acknowledge, we have to note that this is going to be a political appointee, right? So it's going to be a political appointee. We've got Rubio, who somehow got a unanimous vote out of Congress. What the H Congress? We've got the guy resigned because of this not being legal. Right. Well, exactly. Never existed before this, right? So this is new. This is like Space Force territory, all right? We do have, we don't know who's going to be in charge of the Department of Treasury at this point. Also, all right, so 16 computer techs in their 20s with H. I know, right? I know. I have to go. Okay. So is that he has the technology to skim through billions of data quick, pick out those he wants to pick out for whatever reason, right? So Rubio's vote was crazy. I agree. All right, so again, as we kind of pull this apart, so he goes into the Department of Treasury and he wants information that is classified. Am I going down the road correctly here, everybody? I just want to make sure because there's so many different reports on this. It serves the executive department. Right. All right. So, okay. And it's classified info. So first of all, we have to acknowledge it's one of the 15 pieces of the cabinet. All right. The authority to go lock down everything in the Treasury. All right. Stopping global aid. Yes. Oh my gosh. The global aid situation, everyone. So he's looking for classified information. They said, we're not going to give you any. And so he still pushed through and was given authorization. Is that right? Oh, it has all of our social security. True. Okay. Gives me access to it. Okay. Right. So then my question is, yeah, that guy quit. Okay. Yeah, by force. All right. Here's the question though, right? Our classified information, we have executive orders that set out the levels of classification, right? So if it's like top secret, middle secret, low secret, whatever, those are not the terms, but the level of classification. And then we also have the president, which can alter who gets classifications, right? Who gets the privilege. So it can alter the privilege to some degree as well. So he would have the power because he couldn't get security clearance, but this one guy allowed him to get in. Right. So he does have the power to put pressure on the people with the security clearance to allow for this high security clearance. And if we remember, that was the same situation that happened with Bannon. Bannon was not elected. No FBI checks, nothing. Okay. He was not elected at all. Everyone's confidential information. Are there other oligarchs concerned? Yeah, that's a good question too. Some rando tech kids get security clearance. Great question. And probably that guy that posted some stuff on his Minecraft servers asking that same question, right? All right, so here we go. First of all, we're saying get out of the Department of the Treasury. Second, we're saying, why are you allowed to have this kind of clearance? What are the rules? So to me, from a legal point of view, he can go and dink around in the Treasury all he wants. You don't have to have qualified people in your cabinet, despite what the Constitution says. So he can just put whomever he wants in there. And also what he's got access to, because it's in a federal situation, a lot of that is going to be regulated by the president. Let me give you an example, though, of what would not be. So if Mr. Musk decided to go to New York, for example, and go into their Treasury Department, New York Treasury, he'd get kicked out, right? Or if he went into any state, he'd get kicked out. But at the federal level, essentially, he's got a governor or the president that's given him this huge amount of space to go in and take what he wants out of that. So it's terrifying. True. Elon is known. A known, really? Okay. Police have no jurisdiction in a federal building. That would be Homeland Security. Well, that's the other piece to it too, Kat, is we've got a law enforcement issue. I want to, again, though, remind everyone that we are talking about just the executive branch. The reason I want to bring that up is because you have to remember your protections and a lot of things go through your state. So this is the federal piece and then through the state. Now we're talking about things that he's getting access to, like payments, social security numbers, private information that is supposed to be kept private, right? Here, you can go and take funds. He can ask is what I'm trying to say, everyone. He can ask. He can go and say, Trump, give me some codes. Give me access to this. Give me that. And they're probably sitting there eating cheeseburgers, throwing ketchup at the wall. And Trump's like, thanks for all the money. And then Elon's like, all right, well, I want to get into the Treasury. And Trump's like, I don't care, whatever, just put my name on the building. So that's kind of how that conversation probably went, right? So when it comes to this, and our personal information is, it's protected, but not from the government itself. And Elon is becoming an agent for the government. So, and the reason I use that term agent is anytime the government's involved, we have constitutional questions, right? So we have to say, look, the government cannot pull our constitutional rights away from us. But a private person could, for example, like someone who owns a gym might say, I'm going to open this locker and see what's in the locker. And you're like, well, you can't search under the Constitution. They're going to say, I'm a private person. I'm going to look in your locker. Unless they're an agent of the government. So I would say Elon is in this middle ground. He's not fully in the federal government. He certainly wasn't elected. So I'm not sure officer is even the correct term either. But he's also not a private person anymore either. He's in this middle ground, an agent of the government. Right. So now we need confirmed officials, just private citizens has our information. Well, that's certainly how it feels, isn't it? It certainly is. Why are we worried about China? Oh my gosh. So that's a really great question then, right? So we've got this guy that, none of us have voted for him, but we did vote, or well, we didn't, but Trump got the votes and then now has chosen him as his, minion, number one minion or number two. I don't know. Number one or number two. How can he decide whether or not we pay our foreign debt held by China? So, oh my gosh, VC. Oh, that's such a great question. Yeah. So the nightmare continues, everyone. As we go through though, and we're watching what Musk is doing, I want you again though to keep in mind this is a cabinet position. He's going strictly through the executive office roles, and going through P25 again. Now, for law enforcement, we have this is a federal case, right? So, who's the federal law enforcement here? The FBI, right? Or we've got a civil suit. So, somehow, there could be a lawsuit in federal court claiming some kind of violation. I don't even know what violation that would be. That's another thing for us to think about. How are we actually being harmed? Right? So what's the harm that is being caused to us? Let me put that out there. It's a coup, dismantling everything. What are we supposed to do? Oh, I know it. Can employees and citizens sue for a possible breach? Breach of, it's a good question. A breach of what? What's being breached here? If we go through negligence, we're going to say, well, a duty, right? So does the government have a duty? Have they breached that duty? Are they the cause of harm? And then again, what's the harm? What harm has happened so that we could get some kind of decision or award? The key is a remedy, right? So this would be negligence. This is our civil court system, and we've got 4 pieces to it. Identity theft, right. Identity theft, privacy. Has that happened? Has that happened? Do we have a privacy violation right now? Do we have identity theft? Do we have an unjust enrichment? Personal identifiable information. Do we have it? We don't know yet. That's right, Cecilia. We don't know yet. With personal information that I have him controlling our money to other governments. That's huge. That's huge, VC. And we need to make a whole other section over here regarding that. We're going to put an F there. We don't know. Right. We don't know. He's blocking government payments. All right. Do we have proof of that? Like what kind of government payments? Like student loans? Don't we have to consent? Well, that's a great question. What exactly is the role of consent when we give our personal information to the federal government? That kind of information, we're consenting to the federal government using it, but what if they pull people in that we don't like? Pull people in that we don't trust? Are we still consenting? And I would say, if you think about it, this would take me back to J. Edgar Hoover, right, who was in charge of the FBI. And nobody wanted him to have their information, but all of that information was given to the federal government. And so he did have that information. Cell phone number, yes. Yeah, the Smittler salute, there's no excuse for that whatsoever. There's no excuse, only justification because that coincides with his ideology. Not a private citizen, though. Right, he's acting as an agent if you're talking about Musk. What are the terms and conditions, so to speak, of the U.S. government having to abide by with personal information? That's a great question, and that's going to be set up in the code. We're going to have that set up in the federal code. And I would say, like, the easiest example I could give you is when you fill out your taxes, your federal taxes, and you put all of that information in there, and then you have to sign at the bottom saying everything I've included is true to the best of my knowledge. That's our promise that we make when we sign that and send that into them. Now, exactly what they can use that information for, it needs to be for some kind of a federal purpose. And technically, you could argue that. You could say Elon is an agent of the federal government, and him getting access to that data is making it so that the federal government can use that as a way to advise the president. I'm not justifying it, everybody. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just walking you through it here. Once he has it, he can do anything with it. Now, that's where we catch him, though, right? If he causes harm, if harm is done, then that's where the civil lawsuits begin. All right. So if the federal government harms you by using your information, selling your information, somehow dinking around with your info in a way that causes you harm, then that's when we have crossed into the law land. This is criminal. It certainly feels like it. How does he have the power to fire civil workers? That's another great question. When it comes to our civil workers, they have special rules. Actually, they've got some of the best rules in the country on job retention. And all of those rules are set out through the administrative piece of it. So we'd have to go look at the rules for that. But they do have their own set of rules. And again, if the President of the United States gives his agent the power to fire civil workers, he can do that. Again, not saying this is okay, everyone. I'm not saying that. I'm just putting this in here. This is the road that they're taking. Also, usually has strict rules on data management and storage. What and where is he putting in the data and how's it being? Right, exactly. It was against the law to give Elon passcodes. That's a great question, but what law? What law was actually violated? Because we went through, with Mr. Trump in Florida, we went through the classified documents, executive order stuff, right? So the president had to have certain kinds of levels of whatever. He could make something not classified that already was classified. So technically, Trump could do that right now. He could say anything that Elon just pulled is no longer classified information. He could do that tomorrow. He could write that out. He's got that power under the executive order. With the classified information, though, you have to see, again, where's the harm? What harm is being done? Login people reset their passwords, require lots of personal information. I know. Oh, I hate it. Oh, that's awful. Quit because he would break the law to give Elon the codes. That to me seems like then he knows where he's at, and we've got a lawsuit right there of complete, that would be a lawsuit for an unlawful firing, especially of our civil servants. So that's the question. Let's go to the guy then that said he had to resign. Let's walk down that road. So we have sorry everybody. So the Treasury dude had to resign, right? Because he's like, I'm not giving you the codes. And they're like, we're going to get security. So the resigned guy said that was pulled, that's the harm that was done that would require a remedy through the courts. Now, you might say, well, Mr. Trump is immune, right? He's immune from this stuff. But this wasn't done directly by Mr. Trump. This was done through Elon, who was an agent of Mr. Trump. And the U.S. Supreme Court does not protect agents of the president with immunity. So you could still go after Elon for an unlawful termination here. Or how long will we be getting? I don't know about that one. They resigned under coercion. Now, right, if you put coercion in, that's not how you spell it, but now we're in a criminal case, right? And with a criminal case, who prosecutes? Do we even have any prosecutors anymore? Probably not. So we will need to, whatever it is, where we start saying we need some justice, we're not going to find it through the criminal courts right now because of this. So we got to keep it in civil land where we would have a reinstatement depending on what that position is. That could be done. Back pay, severe emotional damage, those kinds of things as well. Who would bring those forward anyway? Who would bring the lawsuits? or the criminal. Jack Smith, come back. We need you. Oh, I know it. I know it, everybody. Yeah, I agree. So whomever, again, who was harmed. So we've got still our inspector general's situations here can bring a lawsuit. And again, now the president has immunity, but it's not just the president involved in pulling these people. So you've got to get creative and pull everybody in. Social security check, does that mean there's a case? Well, all right, let's talk about that. Social security checks. What is it that gives you the right to Social Security? Let's walk down that road. So let's say you are getting Social Security. You've got to fill out a ton of paperwork in order to get that. And within that paperwork, it will say that the government will give you a certain amount of money every month. Am I right? Right? Please see VC's question. Okay. Sorry, VC. My eyes are glued. At what point, wait. At what point in its, shame to ask, does the Pentagon act without POTUS authority against domestic enemy? Okay, was that the question? Okay, oh my goodness. Okay. Yes, true. All right. So that's a good question too. Against without POTUS authority and domestic enemy. So I would say if you want to check, you're not going to be able to find that in the executive branch, right? Because pretty much the executive branch answers to the president. So if you're wanting the FBI, although there's been some huge pushback on that, the Pentagon, those kinds of assistance here, that's going to be real tough to get out of the executive branch because he's got that power. The true power of keeping him in check has to go through Congress. It has to go through Congress. Congress has to come back, remove presidential power that they've already given him through different statutes and different laws, remove that, and set up a way to keep him in check. So, or we have to go through SCOTUS. I know nobody wants to hear this, and I don't want to even say it, to file a lawsuit and say the president has acted outside of the bounds of his authority, which is what's happening right now. Why we've got suits filed already, because he acted outside of his executive authority with freezing the federal funds. All right, so we still have this situation where we've got to have one of the other branches. Screaming, you can hear me. Oh, I know it. Seem like, right. I don't see a path to much other than that if Congress won't act. I agree. Congress needs to act, yes. I still don't understand who no one is, well, right. I mean, it wouldn't be constitutional, I guess, since, yep. Right. So, of course, I think, right. So, with this, all right, we need some self-corrective action going on. Oh my God. I would say though, everyone, the other part of it too is our country is very unique because of our federalism piece. This is why our martial law works different than other countries. And this is also why you can look and see the US right now is going through some trauma, all right? We've got trauma here, everybody. But on the other hand, the US is just basically like one big governor of the US, which is like one big state, all right? And then we have our own states. And although the federal government has a lot that they contribute and a lot that they do, the everyday life, everyday tasks, everyday rights that we're using, those are at the state level. So although, and I really want to emphasize this again, that although it seems like and it feels like, oh my gosh, everything's crumbling, we've got backups and we have safety nets here. So the backup for the executive branch that's out of control right now is going to be the courts, and it's going to be Congress when they finally say, well, we've gone too far. And I don't know exactly how far that's going to be. Unleash the lions, tigers, and bears. Right. I mean, it's really frustrating. Of course it is. Congress controls, they do, John. They control the purse, and they also can control the annoyance. And I think that's one of the underutilized resources that we have right now. And, I posted something real earlier saying, look, Democrats, why aren't you doing anything? And we've got a lot of questions for Congress, and they're just kind of lollygagging around at this time. So we're frustrated because we want those questions answered. Robert Reich's Substack that Congress hasn't even confirmed Musk or approved the new department. Right. So we're in a gray area. We're in a gray area where we don't. The authority is being granted to him straight from the president. And that's really weird. And I want you to think about, too, that moment when they're saying, well, Jack Smith should have been confirmed by the Senate before he went to prosecute, because special prosecutors shouldn't be granted just under the executive branch. Meanwhile, we have this agent of Mr. Trump with only Mr. Trump's authority going around and doing whatever he wants, right? So I think that's really important to note. Congress is going to step in. The other thing, too, is that everything takes so stinking long, everyone. And the damage gets done. We have to look at the damage and then come back to repair it. And that's how the legal system works, is that we have to wait. We have to wait in order to get it sorted out. How's it not going to SCOTUS? Good question. It's got to go up through all of the courts first before it gets to SCOTUS. Right. Calling your Republican. Right. And I think we need to have a multi-layered plan, everybody. And this was one of the things that I think is going to be helpful, because first of all, we're saying, well, hey, call your congressional people, right? Call your reps, call your senators, and we're saying call the Republican ones. I would say at this point, with how we're feeling, we need to talk to the Democrats. Has anyone been calling their Democrat people? I'm curious. Have you called and said, hey, what's going on here, man? I'm watching the news. What's going on? I'm curious. Has anyone talked to any of the Dems? Yes. Okay, Cynthia, you've talked to the Dems. What are they saying? Messages are all I can do. Okay. What are they saying? I'm a blue dot. Oh, I hear you, Kat. Okay. Schumer, all right. He's been super vocal. I don't have any. Oh my gosh, Utah. Ugh. Written them as well. All right. Postcards. Ooh, we love that. We love that. Okay, so 0 Democrats, boo. Just to leave a message. Okay. So you're calling your people. A lot of people, again, are calling the Republicans here, right? No responses yet. Courts take a really long time. Yes, and are easier to circumvent with unlimited money. You're right. Crockett has been on. Oh my gosh. Representative Crockett, send that woman a fruit basket. 2 senators and rep every day local offices in the D.C. asked to speak with their staff assigned to national security. All right. Good. You just get to leave messages. Right. Like screaming into the void. Not worth a breath. Well, sometimes you need somewhere to scream, though, right? She's been great. I agree. Right. Jack Smith did. So here's a couple of waves of things to do, everyone. When you're calling your people, again, I recommend calling rather than sending stuff because of, hashtag paper trail. Go to your committees. Who is on the committee that is doing the crap? And as we go through, I'll take some time again here, everyone, and we'll be going through some of the legislation. But if you look over here, House Energy and Commerce Committee, Homeland Security Committee, Foreign Affairs Committee, That's important. So look up your committee that's in charge of whatever it is that's getting screwed up. And then look up the members. All right. And then rather than just calling your two senators and your few reps here, although, I don't even know anymore how that's all grouped together, call each member of that committee and ask them about the bill. Ask about the law. So one of the things that you want to say for foreign affairs, VC, this would be for you, foreign affairs. Call up everybody. I don't know how many people on the committee. Let's just say there's 15 people, and just be like, hey, what's going on? How does this affect your foreign affairs committee position? And the reason why is because I've just learned this by working in government a lot, is that the people on the committee feel really special and they feel like they're really powerful because they're on this committee. And so if you phrase it in a way of, can you explain this to me? Can you tell me if I should be worried? Lull them in, lull them in and give them some money. Like, I heard about this and I'm sure it's not really true, but can you explain to me how Elon's stuff is or isn't affecting it, or should I be worried or should I not be worried? And then let them talk. All right. So let them talk, which is one of the interrogation techniques that I've learned. Let them talk for a while you get some notes down. And when you're taking notes, what's really helpful is date and time, again, because in a couple weeks, if stuff's not been cleared, call them back and say, hey, remember when we spoke about this? You told me this and this was going to happen, but it didn't. So should I be worried about it now? Senators doing some procedural rules to do the best they can to slow down the damage, not allowing unanimous consent. Yes. And they're going to have problems with that. Is that the Government Oversight Committee? So I was using here the House Foreign Affairs Committee as an example. And we've got Ways and Means, which is a huge committee here, Homeland Security and so on. You can go online and find the names of those committees. And again, as we go through this legislation, it'll explain where those bills are. But get a group of people. You don't have to restrict yourself to just your representative and your U.S. senator. All right. That's the first thing I would say as I was putting this and have put these kinds of plans together before. Branch out. All right. Now, keep in mind, too, when you're calling in, Comer, you're right, VC. When you're calling in, all right, everyone, here we go. These are the tricks of the trade. Please do not use this information for illegal purposes. When you're calling in, they're going to grab your number, right? They've got caller ID. Of course they do. They trace everything back. So what usually happens is if you call once and you call again, if they had any kind of a negative feeling, they're not going to answer or they're not going to get back to you. So when you're calling your own reps and senators, you're going to get one good call out of it, all right? Typically is how that goes. But when you start going through the committees and you got 15 people here to talk to, boom, you just broaden your horizon by 15 more people, all right? Just make sure you get what you need to say done in that one call. You can try calling them again, and say, if you have a nice conversation, if you're like, oh, okay, what happened? But, if things get feisty, you're not going to be able to call them again. So broaden it out, branch out for the first one. Number 2, who's giving their name and address? Who's giving names and addresses? I'm just curious. Are you saying, I'm so-and-so from district so-and-so, and I disagree with something, right? And that's a way of doing it, right? Oh, you got our voicemails? True. But again, you never know when one of those will actually ring through. Yes, contact committees. Contact individual committees and individual members in the House and in the Senate. And you may have the same person, right? You may have the same person that's on more than one committee. Just say I'm a constituent. All right, good. That's a good one. I like it. But I would recommend, here's my recommendation. So I just use, okay, I'm trying to figure out how to say this in a way. Oh my gosh. So I try to make about I don't know, I would say maybe 5 aliases. All right, don't narc on me, people, all right? But here's what I do. I go through and I pull out around the country and I'll list the name of like, my school bully or whatever. So we'll just say Jane Doe, all right? Jane Doe. And some kind of an address off of Google Maps, right? Off of the maps for that jurisdiction. So if they're like, oh, where do you live? Then, I'm like, well, here's my address according to Google Maps. And, usually with the phone number, I will give them my phone number, but change just one number. Change one number. Okay, all right. Now don't tell anybody, all right? And then do that multiple times, all right? Now don't come up with a name. Some people, when I was using this before, when I was trying to explain it, I'm like, don't use a name like, Johnny Vagina. Don't do that. They're gonna know immediately. So just use a regular name, or like I used to do with my grade school bullies. Like there's a Heidi, there was a Vanessa that I did like Jennifer, whatever. And then pick some states. So if you know that one person here out of this committee is from Idaho, pick a random address out of Idaho. All right, so you've got the background on it if you need it. You see what I'm saying, everybody? You following me here? You create several aliases. The J Doe, I know. So here's the thing, right? So they're going to say, well, there's a few things you got to look at, like wire fraud. And you can get charged by using phones to commit crimes. But this isn't a crime, all right? This is not a crime here that we're doing. We are calling up some people and we are saying, can you explain this to me? Please explain this to me so that I can understand what you're doing. Keeping the pressure on by calling, just once a day, just, for 2 weeks, boom, you got 15 people. And you're asking questions, right? The next thing is that you could say, well, it's fraudulent. And the next piece I would say, and this is not legal advice, but what's fraudulent? All right, what's fraudulent? What, the payphones? I know, right? Where's the fraud? I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to buy anything. I'm trying to express my First Amendment right to freedom of speech to you, a government agent, which I am allowed to do. And I am using the same thing that law enforcement does, which is not giving you my real name. All right? You are not doing this. Right. So no crimes being committed, everyone. And if you're not getting pulled over in a car or you're not getting pulled aside to, have a breathalyzer test, you are calling up politicians, government agents, and you can protect yourself by using different names and by, using different addresses. Just make sure that if you pull up an address, double check and make sure that there's not going to be a SWAT team. All right. So that's one of the ways to do it. Grassroots. Yeah, well, that's kind of what we called it back in those days when we were dressed up like ninjas. Oh, back in the day, everybody. But the thing is, you just got to keep it going. You got to keep it in the air like the turkey at Thanksgiving. You have to get your committees that are important to you. Pull the names out of those committees. Don't just call the Republicans, everyone. Call the Democrats. Call the Democrats first if you want, and just say, hey, what's going on? Give me the 411. And then next up, call the Republicans. And rather than be like, I think you are a complete, douchebag, just say to them, I'm curious. I don't understand. Use the I don't understand bit all the time, right? I don't understand. Can you explain it to me? I don't know if I should be upset about this or not. And can you explain to me why I don't need to worry about this or how this is okay? All right. Asking him about the crime. No, don't ask him. Yeah, give him Elon's address. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So, ask the Dems what to ask the Republicans, Donna. Yes. Keep playing like you don't know anything. Exactly. And, you got to weaken your voice, soften your voice, because if you're all, 5 alarm chili, they don't listen very well. And just keep calling them. If you keep getting put into voicemail, just make your list. That's one of the things. Get your notebook, make your list. I mean, there were some times when, you could call 25 or 30 times a day and be like, I was just waiting. I was just, trying to get to you because I'm confused and my friends are saying this, but I just, I'm good at playing a double, of course. And as women, I think we do have the advantage already. So I'm calling about your car's warranty. That's so fun. So, and a lot of you were asking me about the burner phone situation. So let me just explain. Here's the I have multiple burner phones. All right, I have many because, I don't want my phone number out there. So, they track the numbers. They absolutely track the phone numbers. So if you come in with a burner phone, that's the number. You can also go through, there are several online places where you can place your call through your computer or through an app, and it'll change the number, but you still have that app receipt in your history on your phone. So that to me bothers me. So I just have a boner burner phone. I put the two words together. My apologies. So I have multiples, and I've gone through a couple already the last time I needed to do this. So I've got one left. So, and then I just got another one today. So yeah, you just get the phone. It's a flip phone. It was like, $15. We don't have extra money to burn through here, everybody, but and then 60 minutes, and that'll also give you a time. Like I'm only talking for 5 minutes. So you get your timer going, and then that way you can keep track of it. Write down the day, who it was you spoke to, or who it was you left the message to, what you said, and just keep that and document it as you go along so that you're not coming back over. Yes, no, don't tell Hawk. Oh my gosh. So, but anyway, I'm telling you, everybody, that's fun. And if you can, you don't have to. These are alternatives. If you want to kick it up a notch, pay with cash only. All right. Pay cash only. And if you can, again, drive about 30 miles away from your home, from your hometown. All right. Those are extras if you are on a list. Which for some reason, I feel like some of you might be on a list here. And I wonder, but those are added ones. If you need extras, protection, go that route. Don't wear a ski mask. No, but you can wear a regular mask, right? So if you've got, we've got our COVID masks out there, which have been every criminal's greatest gain, being let into the mob. That's so funny. Well, the whole reason is you really want to, you got to set yourself up for success. And if you're on your own phone and they can call you back, or I called somebody this years ago, and I said, look, I don't agree with this. I'm an attorney in my state. And then they sent me a letter. And I was like, how did you get my information off of just this call? And they sent me a letter. And so after that was like, burner phones are bust. So that's how I prefer to do it. If you don't care, then, that's fine. But for me, I just don't need a whole bunch of, representatives and senators getting my information, because it makes it harder. Because I want to get in and I want to get out. So I'm going to get in and I'm going to say, hey, Senator so-and-so, you're on the whatever committee. Can you kind of explain to me, it sounds like there was a problem with Musk. I'm not sure if there was really a problem or not, but, I'm from Idaho. Can you just kind of walk me through it a little bit? Yes, and you buy minutes, but keep your minutes short. Your phone call, you can make a difference in 5 minutes. Right? And if you break that down and divide it out of 60, which I'm not going to do because I don't know how to do math, that's still like 10, right? How many can you buy at once? It's a lot. But you want to get the smallest amount, because if you're going to get multiple phones, you're going to get multiple numbers. And I think somebody asked me too. Yeah, you can go through, I can't remember the website that I had been using. I had to make some unfortunate phone calls multiple times in my life. Everybody, I had to call someone up in Chicago once and be like, yeah, so we knew we knew you had this on you when you were going through the airport. You want to explain that? So you got to find a way to kind of hide it, you know? I think that's important. It also just, gives you a bit more pep in your step because you're covered. You're absolutely covered. Now, again, we're not here to harass. We're not here to harm. This is civil disobedience, MLK style. Only instead of preaching love, we're just preaching because I don't have any love to preach right now. I'm saving it for my extra rainbows. Oh my gosh. So MLK is like, oh, we're all under one creed. And I'm like, that's great. But right now, I don't have enough time to think about anything. That's good. But I got stuff to say. All right, everybody. So that's the plan. The chicken's in the tree. We all need a code. I know, everybody. I mean, you laugh, but I tell you what, I've done enough. I've done enough. Oh, I've done enough of this kind of stuff. Just gotta make sure. And I'm not even getting into how to find the cameras and hide from them. I'm not even going down that road yet, but here you go. All right. So keep it going. Keep it going. And when that panic sets in, that's another thing too, everyone. When the panic comes in, well, exactly, Holly, exactly. Then you can say, all right, today, you know what? I'm going to call. And eventually, you're going to catch somebody. It's going to be an office person, a clerk, a secretary. It may be the representative, but the more you call, the higher your chances you're going to actually get to talk to somebody. And just do a one call per day. Like, well, this one's only doing a voicemail. So I'm like, okay, well, if you called in the morning, call in the evening next time. So you're on a list or two. I bet you are. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah. So get your aliases made. We're not under an oath here. I'm not, telling the truth to a judge. This is not perjury. I'm telling people like, look, stop it. I don't want to privatize. I don't want to privatize like the airport, knock it off, or prisons. I'm against that. Explain that to me. My name will be Limu Emo. No, John, no. You can't give them a name that'll make them suspect you. They really don't. Oh my gosh, like Karen on Will and Grace, where she's like, I'm a lot of vagina. I'm like, no, don't do it. No. We're in the gray area. Exactly. I'm a flightless bird. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm serious, everybody. So pull it out. Get 5, pull the information out. Get 5 names of your grade school bullies. Pull them up on the Google. Try to figure out an address in the area if you want. And then go in and kill them with kindness. All right? Oh my gosh. Secret crime fighting. Well, the thing is, it's time to just be, I'm tired of being Miss Nice Guy here, right? We're like, oh, well, here, let's teach, let's help you. And these people at this point, this is like gloves coming off, right? We can be loud. And one of the biggest things that we have to fight against this is the First Amendment. And that First Amendment is going to protect you because we are actually dealing with government employees here. All right. So again, no threats. We're just explaining to them, or we're having them explain to us. Right. And this works great. It's a lot. It reminds me a lot of what, for those of you that also hang out with Amanda and go hang out and listen to her lives, it reminds me a lot of how we used to go about it, because you would say, hey, can you explain this to me? Or what information do you have to back this up? Or what is it that's making you feel so comfortable? And not only does it help you to understand that, they are ridiculous, it gives them a moment to say like, wow, why am I doing this? Just because I'm following one person. And it's like, well, but I voted for you. I didn't vote for him. I voted for you, so that's a moment too, to also be like, hey, let's stop and think for a minute about what you're doing. And even if it's 5 minutes of them having to figure out how to explain to someone why there's no more Head Start, I mean, that's still a moment of accountability. So highly recommend, everybody. We are the employer. Well, right. Right. And sometimes it's time to get your Karen out and be like, I need to talk to your manager right now. I need to do that. Sometimes that can be very helpful. All right. So that's my get up and go for oh my gosh. All right, everyone. But seriously, I'm so worried now. I know. Okay, listen, there's gonna be a few of you going to DC and you're gonna be putting a slammer and you're gonna be trying to call me. You can get me on a live and be like, look, I did what you said. I had like 5 burners on me. What's gonna happen? And I'm going to fly out to DC and be like, what just happened? Oh my gosh. So just be careful, everybody, all right? You have the right to remain silent. Don't. Oh my gosh. That First Amendment, though, is a powerful, powerful tool. So no, don't go. No, don't pack your bags. Oh my gosh. All right. So we've got a little bit of time here left. Let's go through some more legislation here so we can figure out I'll send bail money. Oh my goodness gracious. I can't go to jail. Well, exactly. So just stop and drop and look small. Like I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Everybody just point at VC. VC, you did this. Oh my gosh. All right. You're cracking me up, everybody. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Tay, no, man, you screw up a word one time. Oh, all right. So let's dive in. I've been going through again a lot of the legislation here, everybody. And I feel like a lot of this legislation gets spoken about in the media, but it's not really, we don't really go through it because it's not, shock and awe. So I wanted to take everybody through this because we, again, have some stuff going on. So here we go. So House Bill 750. This is LegiScan again. Only have a bill vote. Oh my gosh. I'm never going to live it down. I'm never going to live that down, everybody. Oh my gosh. All right. My bad. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. So yeah, this is a huge list. I'm just randomly picking a page here. HB 750 to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to provide incentives for education. All right, that sounds good. We like incentives. We don't know what kind of education, but that seems all right. 816 to establish the Southern Border Wall Construction Fund. Now, I've got to be careful about that because Steve Bannon might go to prison over that. And to transfer unobligated amounts from the coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds to such fund to construct and maintain physical barriers along the southern border. So this is a border wall bill, and I'm not a fan. So I'm going to say frowny face on that one. Next, 827, to ensure the availability and affordability of homeowners insurance coverage for catastrophic events. Yeah, that sounds good. Right, let's do that. That's pretty good. And then again, here we've got the House Financial Services Committee. So, when you're looking for those committees, everybody, you got to pull all that information and then just going around. Seriously, still everybody, come on. Oh my goodness. I'm in trouble. I'm in so much trouble. All right, House Bill 754 to amend the Small Business Investment Act of 1958 to increase the amounts that may be invested in small business investment companies. I think that's good. That one looks okay. 740 to improve the provision of care and services under the Veterans Community Care Program of the Department of Veterans Affairs. That looks good also. This must be the dem list. To ensure that women seeking an abortion are notified before giving informed consent to receive an abortion of the medical risks associated with the abortion procedure and the major developmental characteristics of the unborn child. So I'm a big fan of leave the medical stuff in the medical field, so I'm not a big fan of that. To amend Title 38 United States Code to authorize an individual who's awarded the Purple Heart for service of the armed forces transfer unused post 9/11 educational assistance. Yeah, we've already seen a very similar bill to this already. So Privatization of, oh, we don't like it. Really? I don't know. I've got a question mark in the other one too, because it seemed like they could transfer that over. I'm going to look into that, Mary. I'm going to put your name next to it so I remember. Mary said to look into it. I'm like, all right, let's do that. All right, HB 778, to amend the Internal Revenue Code to modify the Social Security number requirements for claiming the child tax credit. The Social Security requirements. I'm not sure what that is. That makes me nervous. Like, are you trying to say you don't need a Social Security number, or they want to be harsher that you do need a Social Security number? I'm not sure about that one either. I don't know. This one's a question. Here, we had a really, I know. We had a really interesting SCOTUS case that said that you have to have a Social Security number if you're born in the United States. You need, with certain restrictions, but I'm wondering, we have to provide their Social Security number. Exactly. So I'm wondering how they're going to, are they trying to make it more difficult, or are they trying to make it more, harsher or easier? So we just don't know. All right, House Bill 764 to prohibit the application of certain restrictive eligibility requirements to foreign non-governmental organizations with respect to the provision of assistance under Part 1 of the Foreign Assistance Act of 1961. Okay, prohibit the application of certain restrictive eligibility requirements. What? Okay, so they're trying to make eligibility even more difficult for non-governmental organizations? I don't know. Yeah, we don't know what kind of incentive either. Exactly right. This one is suspicious to me. I'm finding this suspicious. Harsher's your bet. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I really like the word prohibit. Yeah. Prohibit the application of certain restrictive eligibility requirements. I don't know. This one's questionable. Child tax credit to husband and wife, not for single mother. What? Oh my gosh, that's awful. All right, so this one I need to look up for more details. We've got 804 to require the administrator of the Small Business Administration to improve access to disaster assistance for individuals located in rural areas. To improve access, so that's the movement. I think that's good. I think improvement of access is always good. To amend title, oh, they're doing this one again. It seems like they keep going round and round with the same pieces of law here. Pine Kids, right? Hospital, it's 30, right. I thought, oh, yeah, that's interesting. To amend title 1058, sorry about that. Title 18 of the Social Security Act to permit states to designate without any mileage limitations facilities that are located in rural areas as critical access hospitals. So they're not going to look at the mileage. I'm not sure if critical access and not looking at mileage is a good idea. Yeah, that doesn't sound right, does it? This one does not sound right. I'm with you on that one. Oh, Cat. Well, hey, the backbone of this country right there. Number 758, to direct the United States Postal Service to issue regulations requiring Postal Service employees and contractors to report to the Postal Service traffic crashes involving vehicles carrying mail that result in injury or death. Now, I think that's all right. So if you're a Postal Service employee and you are in or see a crash, you have to report it. I'm not sure on helping the remote. Yeah, I agree. I think this one's okay, but I'm concerned because you think like, well, don't they shouldn't they be doing that already? That's what I'm saying, Willie B. That's what I'm saying, right? Why wouldn't they do that? Yeah, I'm wondering if they're trying to like solidify that in some way or demonize it. I don't know. I'm getting suspicious. I'm looking at my 10 boner phones. No, everybody, no. I need to take a minute. Oh my goodness gracious. Burner phones. My 10 burner phones. And I'm getting, oh my gosh. I can't. All right. I gotta take myself sorted out. Oh my gosh, everybody, I can't even say that word anymore. It's just gone. That word's gone now from the vocabulary, all right? We're just going to call it phones from now on. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm going to have to edit this out of there. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry, everybody. All right. I meant my telephones. We shall use the word telephone from now on forever and ever. You can't tell which phones. Oh my gosh. I know. I can't even say that word anymore. All right. So I'm gonna keep moving on. My whole face now is all red. Oh, all right. So let's hit a few more of these up. Secret. I can't even say it. VC, stop it. I can't. That's totally inappropriate. My bad. I'm sorry. Here we go. Moving on. 753 to direct the administrator of National Oceanic and Atmospheric and Administration to maintain a program that improves wildfire forecasting and detection. Hey, that sounds good, right? So they're maintaining a program. I think that's okay. Can't do much harm on that one. No, this is my best life. Oh my gosh. I don't know. My cats are looking at me funny. Next up, we have 807 to direct the Secretary of the Treasury to submit a report on coordination in the public and private sectors in responding to ransomware attacks, all right, on financial institutions. So they need to do a report. I think reports are fine. That doesn't seem too damaging. No, Kaya, no. No. VC. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I banned kids. No kids here. Oh my gosh. Oh, I failed, everyone. I have failed tonight. All right, 773 to amend the Food Security Act of 1985 to repeal certain provisions relating to the acceptance and use of contributions for public-private partnerships. Oh, this is weird. To repeal certain provisions allowing acceptance of contributions for partnerships. I don't know. This sounds like not good. Shouldn't we get partnerships? That's right. Oh my goodness gracious. No, we're not getting it on a shirt. Oh my gosh. All right. Here we go. 283. Oh my goodness. All right. A bill to require the Undersecretary of Commerce for Standards and Technology and the Administrator of National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration to develop a standard methodology for identifying the country of origin of seafood. Wait, what? To support enforcement. What is this? Where did the crabs come from? We don't know. I'm not sure about this one. I'm just not sure. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. Here we go. There's a hearing. Today there was a hearing, everybody. Nope, sorry, that's the 5th. In a couple days, in 2 days, we've got a hearing. That's our next hearing, everybody. Go on, see where the seafood's coming from. Yeah, it's extremely important, right? All right, next, 749 to amend the Immigration and Nationality Act to increase penalties for individuals who illegally re-enter the United States after being removed. I don't know. I think the penalties are already pretty strong right now. Next, 782 to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to establish a credit for hired critical employees and to make permanent certain expiring provisions related to the child tax credit. I don't know about that one again. I'll have to look that up. I'll have to see what that says. 78, amending the rules of the House of Representatives to permit certain resolutions to be privileged only if they are based on conduct which was the subject of investigation and report by the appropriate committee. This is interesting. So, amending the rules of the House to permit certain resolutions to be privileged only if they're based on conduct. So what they're trying to say is they're setting out another rule, creating privileged resolutions, and you can only make them privileged if they're under investigation. I don't know what their rules are already, so I'm not sure exactly. Yes, so this I printed from just this website here, and it's Legiscan. I'm worried, I'm worried about my words now, everyone. Legiscan here, and then you're looking for the 119th Congress, and you can pull that up and sort through all of that here. So I'm not sure. I'd have to do some research on what the rule was before. Next, we have 811 to establish a competitive grant program to support the establishment, expansion, or enhancement of youth mentoring programs for eligible youth and to provide for social and emotional learning, enjoyability, skill development, career exploration, and so on. Establish a competitive grant program to support. I think grants supporting mentoring is good. I think that's okay. If we don't have a Department of Education, I'm wondering how this House Education Committee will respond to that. It does sound positive, but I'm always worried. All right, next up, we've got 772 to direct the Secretary of Health and Human Services to revise regulations to remove the requirement under the Medicare program that an off-campus facility or organization shall be located within 35-mile radius of a hospital or critical access hospital. So it seems like what they're trying to do is move the line, literally the line, so that if it can be somewhere that's 50 miles away as opposed to 35 and still be able to call it a critical access hospital. That doesn't sound good. Yeah, this doesn't sound very good at all. That was one thing with the healthcare system when I was visiting Wales, which was a couple of years ago now, and in this little village, a little fishing village. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful there. But, of course, with medical problems, I was like, hey, how far away is the medical facility? And she's like, seriously? And I'm like, yeah. And, it was an hour drive to basically a clinic, and everybody was always standing there waiting. So, it's one thing, their healthcare there, I think is like, wow, you guys can go and get healthcare. But on the other hand, like where the services are provided is really important. Yeah, it's crazy. I know, I know. And she actually had an emergency with one of her kids. And they wound up just driving through, all of these villages to get to this hospital situation. Yeah, 9 rural hospitals. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh my gosh, I know, I know, I know. Yeah, so that's not a good thing here. Next, we have expressing the sense. What is even that? Do we need that? Of Congress that tax exempt fraternal benefit societies have historically provided and continue to provide critical benefits to the people and communities of the United States. So we're trying to say that the fraternal benefit societies, are we talking about frat houses here, or like the bull moose clubs? I mean, what are we talking about? I prefer living set. Well, exactly. Mm-hmm. For billionaires. I agree. So this has got something to do. This sounds fishy to me right here. Fishy. But just we're expressing a sense that they're special. So I don't see, even though it's fishy, I don't see how it would be negative. So I guess I'd put I'm not sure, situation. Hello, Zha, good to see you. Next, we have a Senate 274, a bill to amend Title 38 United States Code to make certain improvements to laws relating to the payment of certain benefits administered by the Secretary of Veterans Affairs that are affected by death. Certain improvements to laws relating to the payment of certain benefits administered by the, this bothers me. Why are we making a bill to make certain improvements on laws? Like, can't you just make those improvements? Why do we have to have a bill to make improvements on bills? You're talking about, yeah, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I know. Too wide. Yeah, this is a weird one. I think this is weird. We'll have to look that one up. And then House Bill 756 to amend Section 287G of the Immigration and Nationality Act. This is probably going to be bad, everybody, so brace yourselves. To clarify congressional intent with respect to agreements under such section. That's interesting. Congressional intent, like we don't care what your intent is, but maybe they're wanting that clarification in case there are lawsuits involved. So this is a question, and it's in the Judiciary Committee. All right, everybody. So I think I'm gonna have to call. I have to call it here after our first page of lots. We went through. We got several legal pieces here to give us an idea of what's going on. I will make sure to go through more of these as we go forward. I have been keeping an eye on all of my cases here, everyone. So even with Sean Combs, there's not been a lot of movement, although there's been a few things. So I'll probably start going through his docket pretty soon. VC, seriously, what? No. So I'll probably be doing that. Now, at this point, too, with the Blake Lively case, I'm waiting for anything interesting to happen on the docket, and then I will pull that information up and share it. As for other cases still going, we haven't gotten a decision on the Pulitzer Prize request to wait on their lawsuit until after he's out of office. Blessing Game is still going forward at the same rate, so nothing new there. We don't have any new news on Giuliani. Honestly, the only thing that's been really in the media lately has been kind of these weird things going on with Mr. Trump. Right. Oh dear. I need the laughs. Well, in that, you know what, everybody, we have got to laugh. We've just got to laugh. I mean, when we're coming in and we're seeing stuff like no more Black History Month, and then a day later, like, all right, Black History Month, now say thank you. Like, what's happening? Things are going crazy here. But that's all right. We'll make it through. We'll make it through. I know. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, hang in there, everybody. I will be doing another live very soon. Keep your eyes on that community tab. That's the best place for me to be able to let you know when we're going live. Again, I will probably do one over on TikTok sometime this week. I'm not sure when, but the majority of my lives will be over here. So I've got executive orders to continue to go through that we can take a look at, and we'll see what other interesting stuff. Yes, Estelle. Well, it's burner phones, all right? I mixed the two words up. Oh my gosh, my face is still red. Oh my goodness gracious. So yes, I'll be getting my phone set up and putting together some things. So watch for my posts on that. I'm not sure about that. But thank you all for coming and hanging out with me. All of my moderators, of course, and for the laughs. We love that. So take care, everyone. I mean, I'll call posts. You're right, John. You're right. So have a great night. I will see you all again very soon. Take care, everyone.